And we are back with our good friend Ben for Brutalism number 3. And up until now it was really nothing but institutions and landmarks. But today we're going to be looking at some residential buildings where people actually live. So Ben, you have the floor. What is this thing?
These are Avtokomanda towers, I believe, is what they were called. There's no design, no architect is there to it. So it must have been a design firm that designed them. They're built like 71, 72. But it's definitely, they say it's late modern, but it's definitely brutalist, at least in its characteristics. You've got the geometric, the rounded balconies here, even with the slits in them. Again, the very arrow slit type thingy you talked about.
Yeah.
And then the center stairwell is very interesting. Goes up to those 4 other little turns up there, but you have the balcony there with the poured concrete.
Yeah, you see, it goes right down the middle of the building, like the xylem of a tree.
Yeah, and so they're, a lot of people might not consider them pretty, but they certainly are very interesting, you know. And this would have been an early, right, a more early suburb of Skopje, more like, you know, I mean, not like Carpush or something, but more like.
Well, it is a
70s,
neighborhood.
yeah.
It's a neighborhood. I wouldn't call it a suburb. It is very much
Still much a neighborhood.
Yeah.
very much part of the urban core, just not downtown,
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah, but there's 2 of these too. There's this one, and then there's the one that was over to the side, which is
this is
designed
Jana?
exactly the same.
Jana? Jana?
Is it Yanni? It is
Oh.
Yanni.
Hey, so
Interruption.
oh yeah.
Well, you can clip in something like that.
Oh.
Yeah. So we have friends that live in this neighborhood.
In this specific building,
In this
apparently.
specific building, apparently, but I also have friends that live in some of the newer buildings, and a couple that do live in these older ones that we'll cover in a little bit here. And it's a nice little neighborhood, and they've kept up these things. There's a couple other different towers down there with a different style, but these really are the queen pieces of the neighborhood. As far as
They got all the important brutalist elements,
Yeah.
you know, repetition of geometric forms, le béton brut, it's all over the place, like I mentioned. But I really love that sort of central seam
really cool,
line
yeah.
from the stairwell. It's naturalistic and mechanistic at the same time, if you believe it.
And the little corbels, or the little sticking out of the stairwell there, they're just design elements. They really don't have any necessary thing, but they break it up.
I suppose that if you were fortifying this thing for a siege, it would make it easier to put sheet metal or anything.
Well, there we go.
Or you could stick a flagpole in there, I suppose.
No, you could. Yeah, but it's just and it matches here the thing, and of course you can see where the one support comes out. So it's just kind of drawing that out, showing the interior support, which you see here at the bottom, and then it measures it there with 2, 2, 2. So even though you're not seeing the support, they're still saying, "Oh, look, there's a support here, a support here, a support here, a support here." So you've got that element of bringing the interior out, exoskeleton coming out in that hole. This is beautiful. I didn't stop and really look at that close.
By the way, this neighborhood, Zelezara, I think they sort of built it to be a company town for the iron foundry, because that's what Zelezara means in
But
Macedonia.
the people who live
and
who
it's just
work
right
there,
down the
right?
hill here, I believe. Yeah.
This neighborhood, I think, some of the excess heat from the foundry, they use it to heat the neighborhood,
Oh, use like a
which
steam
is
heat
why
or something?
heating is a lot cheaper in this neighborhood. Now it's obviously changed, you know.
Yeah,
A lot more businesses, a lot fewer people work at the mill. I really also love the negative space, because if you could record the space between the towers, it's every building has ample room for itself, you know, so you can just take it in as is. Air can course through. You got room for these green areas.
Exactly. You got
a
green
parking
space.
lot over there. You got a playground over there.
Playground between,
Right.
all the again, to live in the community, keep everything as in, keep everything together, so you didn't have to go far.
This lawn is a little unkempt, but if I was growing up here, this would be a perfect place to just play.
Oh, yeah.
When you're a teenager, perfect place, to kiss girls behind these bushes.
Yeah.
It's not just a place to live; it's a place to live, to have a life.
No, that's true. It's
planned communities.
Yeah, it's a neighborhood, which in the classic sense of the word.
All right. So these are the new towers. I think they're newer than the older ones. The style definitely looks newer.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure they're newer. And there's 1, 2, 3 of them. I believe.
It's 3 towers.
It's a little softer. The other two kind of scream at you, if you will. This little softer. They still have rounded balconies. Still have protruding things that kind of indicate inside structure. Still have the vertical, linear look to it. The arrow slit kind of style to it.
Yeah.
And again, green space between it, things like this. Very nice.
But there is no beton brute. There are no vertical lines.
No, it's really...
The geometricism is really toned down, I think.
I think this is probably more what you would say is late modern than the other ones that they were saying.
So this is late modern.
I would say this is more. If those were made in 71, 72, mid-70s, maybe late 70s or something.
It is still a very interesting building. I mean, in a very broad sense, this is also a kind of brutalism.
Yeah. No, it's all kind, and it's just not a simple box, which is what you get nowadays, or even though the tin ones called it. Yeah, they're just boxes. And
I mean, if we could pan there, you got some of the new buildings in the neighborhood, and they're just ugly. They're just boxes.
And they don't fit.
Right.
You can look at the old where we'll go soon, and these two and this, and it just kind of all fits. And then you have what looks like an office complex stuck right in the middle of it.
Right.
Like Initech is right there.
Well, you have the basically every other element that we spoke of, especially the planned community. You got a playground right over there, a small park,
beautiful birch trees. Here.
We got kicked out of the water fountain because Sheikh Abu Ali owns it. Anthony Quinn was resurrected from the dead just to kick us off his land.
Yeah, the wells are controlled, so you had to buy bottled water.
Which Big Water making money off of this video. Not sponsored though.
That's right. That's true. What's your
So you will take a coffee break. Yeah.
We are here at Combo, which I don't think we've been here before. But Ben,
we've been here, but it was closed, I think.
Yeah, because you said you came on a Sunday, and the times I've been here, I was mentioning been on a Sunday. My organization's had a fundraiser here, and I've been to a couple other fundraisers. Our friend was here with Bevo Labs, doing beer out the one time.
I imagine that in the summer here will be very, very.
They have a big. I say flea market, swap meet, whatever. Vintage sale, garage sale.
Well, there's a difference.
Yeah, but it's kind of like more of a garage sale, swap.
Yeah, the girls said it's more like a neighborhood thing.
Yeah, it's more of a He said it's like a swap meet or flea market, But there were some nice things and varied things, from old albums to jewelry to outfits.
This place is in the shade, which.
I was thinking about that. It was in the shade,
summer,
and it's very chilly here, probably.
Well, even in winter, But in the summer, even up on this little rise is where a lot of people had their stuff laid out on the benches and things up there. They had them set out, and it was all, the trees were all, of course, had leaves, so it was very covered and shady. And so there's a lot of shade down here, not just from the building, but from the trees themselves. And in the summer, it probably is very nice.
Yeah.
You do get the parks right down here. You probably get some of that air coming straight up between there.
The concrete is not a good thermo.
It's not a great.
It's actually the
insulator.
worst.
It's not,
The worst material when
It's
it
not
comes
a
to
great.
installation.
It's great for building
It's
something
true.
quick. It's not great for.
That's the thing with brutalism. This is what I keep coming back to through this entire series. Is concrete allows you to sculpt without real boundaries, because I think other building materials or even sculpting materials like bronze or marble, they've got limitations as to the amount of weight that can carry, and that limits you in the shapes you can achieve. Right, but reinforced concrete, it's basically magic, and I think that when reinforced concrete was invented, I think architects went a little hog wild with just the shapes they wanted to create, which is a good thing, in a certain way. It was sort of liberation from the constraints of weight. So basically, we're here in this complex, but it's not just combo. It's actually a residential complex as part of Zelezara. These buildings are not exactly brutalist, are they?
Not in the classic, what we saw across the street, which had even like this. These were probably built a little bit around the same time, but using the brick and using the concrete and still having kind of, you see there's bricks actually, you can't see them here, I don't think. There's bricks actually sticking out of the wall, again, showing there's some outside in. The cantilevered balconies are very, very much. Then you get more poured concrete in this. You've got these stairwells.
You got those elements over there.
Those elements, the round, again, the circle.
I love this.
He's cooking.
Let's take a shot of that.
We should get a shot of the.
Okay, so there's a lady cooking in that circle balcony.
But it's got elements to it. It's very.
This is not the real brick, though. I mean, it's not exposed brick. It's facade tile.
It's put over the top, I believe, of the concrete, and that's probably why they have them sticking out over there as though they're real bricks, sticking out, which gives it that kind of like this is what it's built out of idea.
So,
these are
this is very popular actually, building style all over Macedonia. Where you got, I think, buildings like this in downtown Skopje in almost every city we have.
Oh, okay.
Because it is. Let's face it, brutalism, the sheer concrete, the beton boot, it can be a little alienating. You put a row of tiles over it, it sort of softens the appearance.
Well, you hear that brutalism. That if you see, there's books and things written that it's the art of grayscale. Without having something that splits up the gray, it looks just gray. So you're breaking. It's all in grayscale, which is why when we were down at the post office,
But the brick is a very good insulator, right?
Yeah,
So
well,
maybe they put,
I think just decoratively they've done it just to split up the solid concreteness of it. And sometimes
this is, like I said, this is not brick. This is tile.
It's like
this is not brick.
Bricks are
they're not structural.
Isolator,
They're not structural bricks. I guess we should. They're in fact here you actually can see the ones attacked because there's a couple fell off over there. As a matter of fact, you can see right the lower row of tiles have fallen off.
Yeah.
So you can see it. But anyway,
we could get them in close up. I mean, they're right over there if you want to.
No, that's true.
No,
But
these
this
are not. A brick is technically a very specific type of structure. Yeah, you got in America you got the cinder block, which is made out of concrete. In Europe, we usually use the brick, which is made out of clay, and it forms an air pocket in between the sort of square, which is to say a cube or a polyhedron shaped box, and trapping that air inside the brick is what really makes the brick the superior construction material to concrete in terms of sound and heat isolation. And when you're trying to put up pictures, because when you're trying to put up pictures in a concrete wall, you got to use a drill. But you can penetrate a brick with just a hammer and nail. No, but that's really, these are not bricks, these are tiles. There's a difference. So these are the buildings we were talking about.
We were just sitting at,
Yeah.
just down the few steps here.
It's quite a lot of residential buildings. I think there's 6 of them in total. And they're all perched up on a hill, and they're all part of the same apartment complex, right? I really love how they have it's really, they're built into the hill, and you were saying they look a little bit like a Sumerian ziggurat.
Yeah, they've got the structure very terraced.
Yeah.
You know, like you would have terraced something, whether it was a ziggurat or you're like building, you know,
A pyramid,
right, or a terrace for growing plants or something as you terrace stuff. So it's got a very old way of looking, and it goes up, and you add to it the angles that they have. So you've got an angle for the hill, the angles coming down, then the angles of the garage and of the balconies. It just fits, and here. It fits very much like it gives a very organic feel, like it's growing out of the hill.
You got the opposing angles for these sort of terraces and the balconies of the apartment buildings. They sort of give the appearance that the building is anchored into the hill.
Right.
It's very stable looking, which is very nice.
It actually looks very Aztecian. It looks very, you know, Mexican in its design, especially with the angles of this. It looks very much
you
like.
got these steps over here.
Yeah, and the angles and things. It's just got a little bit of that feel to it. I don't think that's what they planned on, but that's kind of what it feels like.
Well, I mean, these are upright buildings, but they go with the flow of the hill.
Yeah, and even they're almost stepped back. Each the apartments they step back, and then you have the other building. So they go that way. So yeah, I really do like this.
We could contrast it to some of these new buildings
over here, which are
they're very obviously struggling against the hill.
Yeah, they're right. They're just square boxes planted on a foundation. They don't have any honestly character to them, or any real good nature
look
to them.
at just how efficient with the use of space is. So basically, this is the lowest level. This is a parking lot, and you've got garages built into the base of the hill here. You got people living on up top. You got little shops on the back where we were just sitting. Right. You got the hairdresser salon next to that. I mean, I can really imagine that, I don't know, it's a Sunday, it's an easygoing day, you don't really need to leave this apartment complex.
No.
If you do, you're doing it for your pleasure, you know, not because you have
and
to.
I imagine for years, except for the other apartments we saw, the tin ones, when these big buildings weren't here, this was pretty much what the residential area was right here, was this.
Yeah.
So, you know, so there weren't the little shops, not that there are shops or stalls in there, but there could be. But little, like, shops and tezgis, things like that in here.
Okay, so this is, we have just been informed that they call this the Army Building. And apparently they were giving apartments to military officers back in the Yugoslav period over here. But you don't see Beton Brut, but I still think it's a little bit brutalist, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have the paint on it, you'd see the bare concrete. But again, you've got the scooped out, you know, half circles. You've got a shaft here in the middle. And on the top up there, you've got the 3 little windows, which we see in the apartments down there in the wall, in the city wall. Yeah. And in places like that, though, you know, that looks industrial. That looks ventilation. It's just supposed to be part of the law.
It looks. I mean, this is a neighborhood.
So I would say this is a lot closer to Brutalist than the last place we were. Maybe more like the other apartments.
Oh yeah.
But
this is still a residential building.
It's still a residential building, but
in this neighborhood, which is called Avtokomanda. Right, they call it that way because this is where the Army motor pool used to be. Now it's someplace else. But
I was wondering why they called it that.
Yeah, it's basically mechanized and motorized units of the Yugoslav National Army. They were headquartered here before the neighborhood was built.
That's why.
And then the command was moved, but that's why they call it Avtokomanda.
Avtokomanda,
Automotive command.
Yeah, that's just a boy. It makes sense to me.
And basically, this neighborhood does not have a lot of tall buildings. I think the maximum height is five floors. But this building sticks out. It is, I believe, the only really tall building in this neighborhood.
No, they have a few more, I think.
They have a few
It was
more.
taller
Yeah,
than
yeah,
the first two
yeah.
we looked at.
Oh,
yeah.
By
This is a
It's
very
taller,
tall
but
building.
they
5,
have
6
yeah.
floors, maybe. Yeah.
And it's at the beginning of the neighborhood, so it's supposed to really greet you as you drive in from the city center. It's at a very busy intersection, which is proving to be a problem because we need to shout over traffic when recording. But it is one of those, I think, statement pieces of
Yeah.
a city.
And obviously everybody would have known about it because, like I said, it was a veterans,
Yeah.
or an actual spot that people lived that were in the Army.
Yeah, they were giving out apartments to officers, so I don't think the common soldiery, but definitely.
But this is.
It's a nice building. It's a residential building. It's an example of brutalism. Brutalism is not just for institutions.
Yeah, no, it's for places to live too, which we've seen all today greatly. Okay, here we
So
are.
yeah, this is
Hotel Continental.
This is the Hotel Continental Terrace, and Ben thinks it's very brutalist.
It is very brutalist. This portion of the hotel in particular, though, some of the it was built in like '74, I believe, and it's still in operation. This section, it's got very brutal elements to it. Again, linear lines, square and rectangular windows, very geometric. But then these, where the meeting halls are, you can see where it juts out here, and these terraces here. This is all very, very brutalist in its look, and it's built at the right time. And it's was a big project in Yugoslavia at the day. So there are terraced areas here, which you can see are in general disarray, disrepair, falling apart. But this was a big building when they built it in '74. It was the big hotel, and
Very
taking
famous.
over. Yeah, very famous.
Very
and
exclusive. I
very
think.
exclusive, and now it's like a regular.
I mean,
It's on the
this
decline.
part.
It's
this
on the
part
decline.
it's okay.
Oh yeah.
And I suppose the interior could use renovation.
They did some renovations, I know, because we've stayed there a few times. Some of the rooms are renovated, some are not. It's still got
I
old
suppose
mechanicals.
At some point, right? These really big style hotels, they fell out of favor.
Yeah. Everything went to motel. Well, certainly in the States, a lot more motels or small. And I don't think you'll see these big places like that anymore.
Very rarely.
No, very rarely. Maybe
I
as a
think-
resort, maybe might have a resort that might have a large, but not like a hotel in the city.
No.
Or anything like that. Now, if they redo the Bristol and they reopen as a hotel, that'd be about the size you're going
But
to get.
Marriott, it's big hotel, right?
Yeah,
It's
but that's
new?
probably the biggest one in the center. Yeah.
Well, you got Marriott,
Oh, and-
you got Holiday Inn,
What's the green tree or the double tree?
and then you got the Alexander Palace.
Oh, Alexander Palace.
So
that is
we
great.
might actually have hotel oversaturation in
I
this
think
city.
we probably do.
Right, no.
I've only stayed in 2 of them.
Right. No,
And this is one of them.
but this is like the conference halls are still working.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
to
they still
several
do.
conferences.
Yeah, I was here for Slow Food Macedonia, but 2
They
months
have
ago.
the slow food here.
Yeah, they had it here.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like just another reminder that this country does not really take care of its architectural heritage.
Exactly.
Very, very distressing, very depressing.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
A lot of fine memories up on that balcony from training.